Hey guys, if you've ever wondered what it looks like behind the scenes to actually edit one of these war videos, so these war videos are about 10 to 15 minutes and it took me 3 edits and the third edit was almost an hour, so it was probably about 2 hours of editing all up. So that gives you an idea of what's involved in the process, and I'm going to talk you through what I actually do in the editing process because Baraf wanted to help me with a couple of videos. So this is actually more for him, but I thought it might be also be useful for some of the YouTubers out there who are sort of really early on in the journey to get an idea of what it takes to actually create consistent videos. So first thing to notice is some of the sound is a bit soft, so we're going to increase the sound. Next is there's a bunch of gaps inside here that we probably don't need. So I'm going to get rid of all of those. So this is without listening yet, but we know, I can see in here, this is just me doing stuff to help prep. So we don't need any of that stuff. This is me looking at the base, don't need that. You're looking at stuff, don't need that. This is the actual fight, so we will keep this. Yeah, it's just me thinking, so we don't need to watch me think. 3 seconds of me thinking. This looks like a big chunk of me. What is this doing? Oh, so this looks like it might be my third attack where Baraf did the attack for me. We can cut out some of this dead space here. So here must be me talking about stuff that I'll repeat later on. This is definitely not needed. This is just me moving my runes around. That's 35 seconds. I don't need this dead space inside here. Can probably skip a bunch of this stuff. This is me working out what Holder's Bodyguard does as a skill. Not Halter's, I think it's the do. There's 6 seconds of thinking time, we don't need that. There's a whole bunch of thinking time here, so I'll probably listen to that, see what I can remove. Here's me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just checking out some stuff, which I'll check it again and talk about. This is me just chec Here's a big chunk of thinking time. 10 seconds. That's clearly thinking time. So we're just removing a lot of dead space because it makes the video longer than it needs to be. There's a bunch of thinking time again. Cool. So I think it was about 22 minutes. We've chopped off 2 minutes. And now I'm actually going to go through and do some editing in between. Shelly path in the mini maze. So if you do have Shelly, go and get some more spells. Even if you have her at rank 5 like me, go and get some more cells because Sociable keeps telling us that eventually one day there will be a way to convert cells. There's a bit of dead space we can get rid of. The intro, I'm familiar with my intro. In and do our raw attacks. So the attacks have just started about an hour ago. Legendary one. So this, there is some dead space that we don't really need. It just makes the experience as a user kind of choppy, so I'm going to get rid of it. So this is the first time we're in Legendary 1, and so hopefully this is the first war that we will win as a Legendary 1 team. So you can see that's me sort of stuttering a little bit. So what I do normally is I will repeat the same thing that I want to say if I stuff up the first couple of times. So in the raw version, I might say the same thing 3 times like just now, but I'll only record the good version. Legendary 1. So this is the first time we're in Legendary 1, and so hopefully this is the first. So we can get rid of this one here. So that's a repeat. Legendary 1 team. We are up against Tulipa, which is a sort of pretty even matchup. Hopefully we can do better on attacks. So far, at the start of the war, it's hard to tell because some of these attacks lost aren't. So that so far doesn't do anything for me. At the start of the war, it's hard to tell because some of these attacks lost aren't actually losses. They're just attacks that are currently in progress. So it looks fairly even to start with. We are actually ahead, assuming we don't get a bunch of losses here. I clicked through and looked at a lot of these. So we are actually ahead, assuming we don't get a bunch of losses here. Clicked through and looked at a lot of these bases, and none of them look extremely hard. So I'm just going to attack some of the top ones, the ones with a lot of 150s. So let's start with number 1, Andrei Kotovic. Looking at this base, there's getting rid of some more dead space. So looking at this base, there's it might not sound like a lot, but when you're watching a YouTube video, 1.2 seconds of someone not doing anything or not saying anything kind of can turn you off the video. So I like to get rid of those really big Iltrons on Deborah. There's no stamina draining on Vanos, but he does have laser beams and Vanos shield, so he's going to hit pretty hard. And over here, what's this? And over here, an Iltrons on Ignis. So notice there, it was just me repeating myself. So that's 3.5 seconds that I don't need. And when you're listening as a viewer, you don't really want to hear someone sort of stuttering and ahhing. It sort of turns you off. So I get rid of all of that. So the reason I do it and record it that way is because it makes the editing process a bit easier for me. And over here, an Iltrons on Ignis and an Iguanosaurus. So it is going to do quite a bit of stamina drain, but the main threat here is really Vanos. So as long as I take out Vanos, I'm pretty set. Looking at the speeds, 24, 12, and 17. The Tabora going first doesn't really bother me. She can do whatever she wants. And what I need to make sure is I go in before Vanos at 17 too. So anytime dead space. So anytime I can run steam wrap, I do like to run steam wrap. So I don't have a Ferris, so I do need a bunch of stamina relics. Looking at the speeds to Bora 24/7/56, as long as she does her trait disable or she doesn't do a curse, then I'm safe. So it is a little bit of a gamble, so that's why I have Ignis and Misurus to help negative effect remove if I have more stutter to help negative negative effect remove if I have to. Dead space. And what I'm gambling on here is if the Bora does do a curse, then Vanos won't be able to one-hit KO us. So Ignis is slow, so Vanos is 7265 and my steam wrap is 17366. So I will get a turn before Vanos. Let's attack. A safer way would actually be to run Ignis right after Tabora. So some fluff we don't need right after Tabora. So I'm actually going to do that instead. Okay, so I've just swapped the rune in, so Ignis is now 19003, which will go right after Tabora, just in case I am cursed, and Steam Rest is 17366, which is still faster than Vanos. So let's fight. And a big bunch of dead space down here. That's 3 seconds of just nothing. Oh. So we'll go to here. So I'm not going to cast Vulnerable because Steam Wrath can do that, but I will cast the damage boost. This looks like some dead space. 2 seconds is quite a bit of death space. We're going to take our Vanos first because he's the threat. And then probably next we'll do Tabora. My Decima still has 2 uses to get stamina back. But there's one. Oops. I should have did a dead space. I should have did a choo-choo there. That's okay, because both of these guys can't really hurt us. Big bunch of dead space here. So that's 5.3 seconds of me working out what to do. So we don't really need that in the video because people will get bored and tune out. I did that just to trigger. And now we are cursed. So let's heal ourselves. So easy 3-coin victory. So there's a bunch of thinking time in that we don't really need. So that's 3 seconds almost. Okay, there's a whole bunch of thinking time that we can get rid of as well. That's Baraf thinking about what to do with Vanos. So that's 14 seconds of thinking time. We definitely don't want that. This looks like a bunch of thinking time as well. And the consideration here is they have hardened. We'll go to just before we do the attack. That's another 13.2 seconds of thinking time. We don't need that because people will tune out. There's 3 seconds of thinking time. I might do some commentary over the top of this. Another 4 seconds of thinking time. Another 4 seconds. And we don't need to end bit after the 3 coins. We are back with our last 3 attacks. Oh, number 2. Number 2, I forgot to record, and this was a really silly loss. So let me show you what that looked like. Get rid of some of this fluff. So in number 2, what happened here was Tabora went first, and I purposely let Tabora go first because she's not a threat. She did the trait disable, and I had to do there to negative effect remove in case she did a curse. And then what I remember happening was, I think it was Robot Elf cast shock on me, and I didn't realize I had shock on. So my do went, and I did the turn with extra turns to positive effect remove, and then I wasn't able to trait disable. So because I wasn't able to trait disable, actually, that doesn't make sense. It does make sense. It was the status caster. Robot Elf didn't get a turn yet. So maybe it was Ignis that applied shock. Does Ignis even have shock? I'm not sure. But someone applied shock to me, and the Duke therefore didn't get off my trait disable because I didn't notice the shock. So my learning there was to... We'll go with the learning. So that's a whole 17 seconds that we don't need just because I didn't understand how Robot Elf worked. But now I do. So my learning there was to... notice watch. So my learning there, I'll repeat myself. So my learning there is to notice what negative effects are on me and check them, because I probably don't used to do enough. So that was the learning experience. And don't need to say that. There's another 4.4 seconds. And then because I didn't get trait disable often, Letalis wasn't able to trait disable Robot Elf, and it sort of went downhill. I could have made a comeback, but then I made a couple of more brain farts, and unfortunately I lost. So good learning. So good learning attack there. And we'll grab that. So I'm just cleaning up the actual... I'm looking through these bases to see if there's any hard bases left. There's a 16 with 140s. Delete that. This one has 150s, but Simus is going to be on the... So there won't be any hard bases, so we'll just take out some of the top bases that still have more than 3 coins. We'll put that in. So there won't be any hard bases, so we'll just take out some of the top bases that still have more than 3 coins. Looking at this, they're not going to be too fast because there's only 2 team speeds. There's an Iltron's on Tabora and an dead space here. So all of these dead spaces actually add up quite a bit to the quality of the video. And an Iltron's on Ignis, and also a Thetis on Ignis. So it's an okay base to use Steam Wrap because I can kill Robot Elf quickly. And then Ignis and Tabora. Cool, so it looks like I was thinking through what I was saying here. So we'll just delete some of the spaces. So it's a bit more coherent and easier to understand. And then Ignis and Tabora combined, they can't really kill me very fast. So as long as I have a negative, I say so twice. So as long as I have a negative effect removed, then worst case I'll be fine. 18 on Tabora, 18 on Tabora, 17 on Robo Elf, and 17 on Ignis. So the strat they went with was to have them all similar attacks. So we're just gonna go. We don't need to hear mouse clicking. So we're just gonna go in with something like a Tabora and someone else to do a 1-2 combo. I repeated myself a little bit. In with something like a. So we're just gonna go with something like a Tabora and someone else to do a 1-2 combo. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the Do and Black Feather. So Black Feather can possess, and Holder's Bodyguard would just be a team speed holder. So my Do space. So my Do is 148. So my Black Feather will need to have 1 team speed. Zero's over on Holder's Bodyguard as well. Altus is here really just as a team speed holder, and he has Euro, so he's going to be pretty safe. Don't need the front bit. Okay, so lesson here is we have to make sure we don't get shocked. 24-2 and 22. So I'll go first before these guys, and we can just control the battle from there. Let's fight. Bunch of dead space here. Over here as well. I'm just going to do a straight up disable. Wow, all my stamina's gone. And then dead space. And then I actually did need to positive effect remove. That's just me thinking. So 2 seconds of thinking, positive effect removed there. So more thinking. That's when I'm sort of learning and processing. So you don't need to watch me process. So Ignis is going after Tabora. So wherever a lot more dead space. So wherever Elf is going to get a turn. Chances are Ignis will positive effect remove. I'm going to do a blind here. So this is a lot of thinking time, 6.3 seconds. We need to delete that sort of stuff because it doesn't make the viewer experience very pleasurable. I'm going to do a blind here. Wow, Halter's almost died. Lose again. Let's remove that. And let's do a possess here. So we're earning a whole bunch of dead space that we really don't need. So we're only going to get 2 of them, max. Okay, there's our first Euro, so we can't let that happen. More dead space. Let that happen again. So let's create disable here. Oh, Robo Elf is still going to get a turn. So let's heal. Let's do a burn then. I could tell that was a whole bunch of thinking time because there's a big space. 4 seconds of thinking. So the Robo Elf is stuffing me up a lot more than I expected. So yeah, props to Robo Elf. We can possess everything. Whole bunch of dead space. where nothing's really happening, so it doesn't add any value to the video. We can possess everyone except for Robot Elf here, so let's attempt it. Let's attempt it. So we've got 2 again. Let's start getting rid of Robot Elf. I guess we do a curse. Bugger. There's 2 ways we can do this. The first way is to do the speed ups, which Raph has already done. But what I'm preferring more and more these days is just to leave it on one space and do the proper editing to get rid of all the dead space, because I think it's easier to watch. Unless it's like just Steam Raph attacking over and over, then let's just speed it up. Okay, so this might be a second loss, which is very bad. So I think I've underestimated Robot Elf twice now. Dead space. Three seconds is quite a bit. Hopefully the burn triggers. So let's do this. More dead space. So let's do this. That will kill Ignis. More thinking. That was pretty quick. Remove the torches. So again, that's thinking time that we don't need. 4 seconds. Some low fire perhaps. Oh man. Let's try possess again. They are possessed, so I'm gonna get my traits back. I'm going to take out Ignis. Okay, so this was really close, and again I underestimated Robot Elf. I'm thinking Robot Elf might actually cut across into the Corrupted era quite well because of his torches, so I'm going to add him to my tier list. And more dead space. Okay, 5th attack, we're going to take on number 6, Rosangela Cabrel. So he's got 12 points. Looking at his base, there's an Eiltrons on Tabora, there's a Wang Zhao's on Vanos, and there's another Eiltrons over on Solar Flare with a Morg's armor. So this space isn't too hard, but it is a little... This space isn't too hard, but it is a little bit tricky, so we have to be careful of a couple of things. The Eiltrons on the monsters and also Vanos. But if we can take out Vanos, this space isn't too threatening as long as we have negative effect remove for any dots. So we're going to run in. What I've got here is I've got Ignis and Vanos. So Ignis and Vanos. So Tabora will go first, 24,756, and then my Ignis. And then my Ignis, 20,000. Which will either negative effect remove if I have to, absolutely have to, or more likely I'm going to damage boost on Vanos. And Vanos is 18-4, and he'll be able to one-shot the enemy Vanos, which is the biggest threat here. Here is really just as a team speed holder and can revive if something goes pear-shaped. Enemy Vanos here is 17.2 and enemy Solar 11,000. So let's fight. Full. What was that? 6 seconds. And remove all of that jazz. Oh, so it gets close. I'm not sure if it's going to kill actually. I see this one doesn't look like it's been edited much and it really needs some more refining. I think with the relics it should kill. Ah, Solar Flare, I totally forgot. My bad. Okay, at least that gets rid of all of the relics. So let's do a double damage over here. That Megaton is kind of annoying. So I'm gonna heal up instead. Alright, so we can take out 2, so we'll take that. Oh, him again, Solar Flare. So normally for YouTube videos, people will watch your videos for 2 reasons. 1, they want to learn something, or 2, they want to be entertained. But if it's not educational or entertainment, then I don't. So maybe we should have done the positive effect remove instead, I'm not sure. But this looks okay. And I skew more towards education than some other YouTubers, but this looks okay. But my general recommendation is to focus on entertainment. That's what, excuse me, because generally that's what people are on YouTube for. Let's heal up. The 4 seconds, let's heal up. We just want to get rid of all of that stuff because it doesn't really add to the video much. Will they get an attack in? Will they get an attack in? They won't. So this is just me deciding what to do. We don't need that. But my Vanos is also low. Do I need to heal up? When I'm talking, I generally put it in if it adds value to the video. Do I need to heal up? Not really. Let's put Ring of Fire on. So that's for like 20 seconds, which is cut down to about half. Not really. Let's put Ring of Fire on. Sometimes it takes me a while to recharge, I don't know why. It's 1.6 seconds to recharge. Recharge. I'm cursed. This was thinking, a lot of thinking. 6.4 seconds. So that's going to hit 1 only. So I'm going to recharge so I have stamina to heal if I need to. Why do I have this on? I guess I'll use it on Tabora. We'll get rid of... Actually, it doesn't matter. I know why it doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter. Not really. I'll go on Tabora. I can kill Tabora, but not Vanos. So that again was another 10 seconds of review time. Cool. Let's see if we can get them both. We got someone, so I'll take that. Cool. So that was a little bit dangerous. We could have played that a bit better, I think. I think if I looked through that video, I would have made a whole bunch of mistakes. Let me know in the comments what you see. Alright, our last attack, we're going to take on number 7, Maestro Soul Wrap. I think this might be a Spanish team. They've got some really hard names to pronounce for me. So there's Iltrons on Tabora, a Weng Down, a Weng Downs on Hacksmith. It's nice to see a 150 Hacksmith. Bunch of dead space that we're just going to clean up. So he's an attacker Hacksmith. I'm not too worried about him. And there's the Do. So we're just going to take out Hacksmith and we should be right. So I'm running in with a team that's just going to outspeed them. So Tabora 24/7. Henrich 24/3. And on their side, there's a 24/6 to Do. The Do can't really do much to us on his first turn. And then a 69 Hacksmith and a 12 for Tabora. And I've got Solo Play here just as a team speed holder. It looks like my Rune Guardian is down, but I don't really need it, so I'm just going to go in with this team. I've got Traps and Iltrons over here. And I've got Jezimas just to help with stamina on Tabora. So this should be an easy... It should be an easy clean Tabora. So this should be an easy clean win. So this should Tabora. This should be an easy clean win. Have a trick. Two seconds is a lot. Okay, we're going to CDA here. And there's a bunch of no talking. Means I'm thinking 4 seconds, wow. I'm in two minds. I might Sunburn, or I could also Megataunt, Sunburn, or I could also Megataunt. I think Bora will trade. Bora will trade disable, so I'm gonna Sunburn. I'm going to curse just for the damage mainly. And here, who do I want to take out? I don't want Hacksmith to attack. But he's already CDA'd. But an attack, it has to go on solo play. So I don't want to do getting a turn, so I might... Can I freeze? Immune to control, so I'm going to CDA the do. Oh, he has a 0 cooldown attack. Okay, good to know. Dead space. Wow, 7 seconds. Let's Amber Dust here. And we'll do some more damage. I'll put this on just in case. Enemy to Bora won't get a turn for a while, so I'm gonna freeze here. And there goes the Bora. Cool, so clean 3-coin victory. I think this was not a good war for me. I had a few brain farts, so this was one of my worst wars. Yeah, so a few attacks, but let's see how the war overall is going. (91-17), so we are winning by a handsome margin. So we do have one less attack loss and a whole bunch of additional wins, so this should be a win for us. And if it is a win, it's going to be our first win whilst we're in Legendary 1, so that's awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and that's just the outro. Cool, so we went down from about 22 minutes to 14. I'm happy with anything that's 10 to 15 minutes. It's sort of like a good balance. So I'm just going to add some background music on here to sort of help fill in some of the gaps. What are these videos? I'm not sure what they are. I'll have to have a look later. All of these musics I've already made sure I like. I put these down to 10% so I can have it overlap with the voice. And let's find some place to put it. So if there's a lot of talking, then I won't bother. But once I start having no talking, I'll put it in. Normally what should happen is if there's no talking, it should bump up like this, but sometimes it doesn't recognize it, so I have to sort of manually do it. This looks like a bunch of talking, so we won't put music there. Start up again here. That is what it sounds like. So let's create disable here. Take this out of here. Oh, I said I was going to do a voiceover on the third attack, didn't I? Let's actually leave it. It doesn't look too long. Yeah, I'll leave that. Actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to speed up this attack to maybe 2 times or 4 times. Go 4 times it. I'll do just an overarching voiceover. Alright, I was having a pretty bad war with a lot and my brain wasn't working properly, so Borak actually did this third attack for me, and it's a pretty clean attack with Vanos as the main attacker. Alright, I was having a pretty bad war with a loss and my brain wasn't working properly, so Borak actually did this third attack for me, and it's a pretty clean attack with Vanos. I'm gonna get rid of the music. Cool. Alright, so that looks good. So normally I would listen through to it again, but because this is sort of like the third edit, I'm not going to listen through because I did quite a bit of editing just now.